In today's video, I want to talk about why I won't do predictions and how I believe predictions can actually be very detrimental to the spiritual journey. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. And diving straight into predictions. Now, as a psychic medium, as an intuitive, as somebody who connects to divine and talks with spirit, it would be very easy for me to tap into predictions. But there's a couple of things that go on here. And I'm going to share with you my beliefs. Doesn't mean that you have to believe them. I'm just going to share my beliefs, my reasonings, just to give a differing perspective and for you to sit with it. Does it resonate? Doesn't it resonate? Are there aspects within what I say that change your perception? And I'm not doing this video to change people's perceptions, but I'm just giving food for thought. You need to have the discernment as to what you do with this information. Now, you will have your skeptics out there that go, oh, she doesn't do predictions because she can't. And, you know, that's okay. They can think that that's not a problem. I don't do predictions because very often when you're doing predictive energy feels, is it? I'm clairsentient, so I'm trying to think of the correct word, but I feel into the energies. When you actually do that, a lot of the time there is little you can do about it. And so when I first started opening up, and I don't know whether this has to do with my nursing background and the fact that I did a lot of dignity in death work. I was effectively what's now trending name a death doula. Although I'm not a trained death doula, mine comes from nursing, but there are certain circumstances that we cannot change. Death is a part of life. It is the one thing we know that will occur. It's the one prediction that we can make the minute a new life takes its first breath on this earth, is that at some point they will take their last breath. And there is absolutely nothing we can do about that. And I don't believe we should either. I mean, that is another video. And so when I started opening up to my spirituality, when I started opening up to my mediumship and doing divination, I actually intentionally set the intention that I didn't want to see, hear, feel incidences that I couldn't do anything about. That is massive responsibility as a divinator. How do you actually say that? How do you relay that information to another being without instigating fear, without instigating woe, without planting a seed within their psyche, and so adding to the energy, adding to the velocity, and with that velocity shortening the time scale? And we've all heard, anybody who has actually been around cancer or had parents talking of old, so many people, it's a very, very common phrase of course, as soon as they found out they had cancer, that was it. They were on a downward spiral. And that is because their psyche gives up. Energetically, their soul is like, right, well, what's the point? And it decides, it produces the energy where there is a lack of hope for a lot of people, not for everybody, but for a lot of people. And so I don't like to make predictive text. And 2024, there is, if you follow any mediums, if you follow any spirituality, they would say, oh, 2024, there's going to be a lot going on. And yeah, there is going to be a lot going on. And I have noticed there is a lot of people getting frustrated because many of us will not say some of the things that we've seen or some of the things that we've felt. And we're not saying them, not because we don't want to be seen as being wrong. We're not saying them because we don't want to add to the energy. We only have to look, as a close example, 2020 with the whole COVID, and we were bombarded with information to instigate fear. Now, the more people that drop into the vibration of fear, and the more people that worry that something is going to happen and what that something is, they are adding to the creation of that something. And this is what we're trying to avoid. This is why we won't be pinned down on certain aspects, because we do not want to add to those low vibrating frequencies. We do not want to be instigating more fear, more worry, more concern. What we want to do is to go, okay, this is a year where there's going to be a lot of change. Change creates fear, uncertainty, upheaval. That can create within humanity a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative vibrations. And so knowing that this is coming towards us, what we're asking you to do is to hold hope, to hold love in your hearts. Focus on the positive aspects in your life. Yet that is not denying that there is other stuff going on, but where are you going to focus your energies? Where are you going to focus your frequencies? What are you going to create as an experience? Are you going to create woe, or would you like to create joy, laughter, albeit moments, hope, fun, life? And we can see this when we've had, like, World War II, for an example, during the Blitz. There was so much sorrow, so much pain, so much woe, and yet humanity had this innate knowing they had to survive, create moments of joy, create moments of happiness, create memories of love. And this is what we're wanting you to do. And this is why we won't predict. We won't add to what is possibly going to happen. And by not adding to it, some of those things that are possibly going to happen, we can avert, because we're not adding to the energies. This is the power of frequency. This is the power of collective thought. Yes, the energies, the heavens, the astrology, the biblical texts are showing us that this could be a very difficult year or years, this one being the primary. But if we hold hope, love, laughter, joy, and make that our preset, make that our focus, where we put our energies into those emotions, creating those memories during 2024, there is no reason why we cannot avert some of these things that are possibly coming onto our radar. the key is to getting ourselves in a very firm position of security. And everything in society is geared to taking that away from us, geared to making us think that we don't have enough, that we don't do enough, that we don't know enough. If you have a roof over your head, if you have running water, if you have the ability to have a shower and to use a bathroom in the warmth, if you can put food on the table, you have enough. Is it nice to have all the other materialistic things that the world has to offer? Absolutely, of course it is. Is it nice to travel abroad and to gain new experiences? Yes, it is, absolutely. But if you have people around you, or even if you're on your own, if you can get yourself into a place and a space where actually you're comfortable with yourself, you love yourself, and that you have a roof over your head and you're able to put food on the table, you have everything you need. And you can make loving, joyful memories. If you can include your community within that, all well and good. There are lots of things that can be done. There are lots of joys that we can share. There are lots of ways of lifting others. Once we've lifted ourselves, we need to fill our cups first, and then we give from the overflow. Now, I've talked about the solar flares, and I will do another episode specifically on the solar flares and some of the issues, challenges that they can actually bring. And 2024, when I last looked on the NASA data, 2004 is going to be like the pinnacle. It's going to be the year when those solar flares come in. Now, solar flares can and has been proven scientifically to affect our psyches because of the biomagnetic energies. It can create mental chaos within us. And so it's really important to get grounded. But within that chaos will spill out into other ways, which is why we're all saying, plus there's astrological stuff going on as well, which is why we've all been saying 2024 has the potential of being a challenging year. And I want to reiterate those words, has the potential. And it has that potential depending on where you put your focus. Really take that on board. Has the potential of where you put your focus. Now, for those of you that are coming into divination, to those of you that are starting to awaken and you are going to start and you're being guided to explore ways of divination, ways of connecting, ways of gaining information for yourself as you build that anti-Karana bridge and that information passes over. Attune yourself to what you want to know, what you want to see, and set those intentions. It's my belief that we do not need to know about the things we cannot change. My belief. I do not want the responsibility of knowing things about myself or things about other people that I cannot change. This is another reason why I don't delve into the Akashic records, and I haven't delved into my own. Is there lots of information and knowledge there to be gained? Yes, but what do I do with it? And then do I go into the ego? Because even though I've done lots and lots of work and I'm fairly good at taming my ego these days, not perfect by any means of the imagination, but fairly good, there's still that potential of me forcing something into fruition because I know it's mine, it's there, it's for me, it says it in the Akashic records. But that takes away divine timing, and that is coming from a place of ego. That is not coming from a place and a space of love. That's not coming from a place and a space of divinity. And these are the responsibilities that we take on board as spiritual beings, as we step into the awakening process, as these gifts come towards us. It's a massive responsibility. Sometimes spirit will show you things that you'd rather not see, but you need to see them because there is a deeper message, there is deeper introspection that is needed. But ultimately, you can set intentions of what you see. Now, there are some people, there are some divinators and predictors in this world that do a lot of good by seeing those darker aspects of life. They help the police with investigations of missing persons. They help with unsolved criminal cases. That is very different. That is part of their journey. That is part of why they were given their gifts. That is their service to humanity. But they are few and far between. And so there is no need for us to see the darker aspects of life. That will only serve to bring down our energies, bring down our frequencies. That serves to making us having to work harder to keep those higher vibrations. And when you first awaken or start to awaken, to attain those higher frequencies is quite difficult because you're still running all your programs that are designed to lower those frequencies, to pull you back down into that fear, to pull you back down into that woe. And you have to work through that. It's a process of personal development and spiritual growth where you actually start to pull out those aspects that no longer serve you. And so I do not agree with doing predictive divination for the very reason it has the potential to shape the world in a negative way. It has the potential to drop our vibrations and for us to then spill out all that information because it feels yucky inside us. We are holding on to it. And so our natural instinct would be to pour it out elsewhere, which means we are then infesting others with that information, with that negative energy. And the other aspect is there are certain circumstances that need to play out so that lessons can be learned, albeit that sounds very harsh and very hard, but the cycles have to reach their end. The conclusion and the learning needs to have taken place for a new cycle to start. And so we would be doing people, the planet, humanity, and injustice by stepping in and trying to stop some of those. And that, when we're talking about wars, it can sound heartless. It can sound like we don't care. It can sound like we've been given these gifts and we're not using them to help people. And what I actually say to that is some of these cycles need to take place. We've seen it during COVID. A lot of people, because of the hardship, because of the low frequencies that were being bombarded by, and then a lot of people went into that survival mode. And in that survival mode, their soul knowledge kicked in. They started to awaken. They didn't understand what was going on, but they started to awaken. They started to go, whoa, hold on, hang on a minute. I don't want this in my life. There has to be something different. There has to be, and they start exploring. They stop watching and feeding their minds and their bodies with what another's paradigm, and they start igniting themselves to ask their own questions. They start to use discernment. And so it's not about not being compassionate. It's about allowing certain aspects to unfold naturally, because in that unfoldment, however difficult it is, within that unfoldment, a lot more people will start to awaken. They will come out of the sleeping paradigm that has given the ability to control us and control the trajectory of humanity up until now. And this is what we're wanting to change. And if you watched my last video, it's about, I was talking about not just blindly following, but actually stepping back and going, okay, we want to get to there. That way, we have to keep repeating the cycle, repeating the cycle, repeating the cycle. Let's have a look. Let's connect to myself. Let's connect to divinity and find a different pathway. Find a pathway that is correct for me and allows me to get there so that I can get to the next level, so that I don't have to repeat this cycle. Predictions carry a danger of dropping vibration, of feeding into fear, feeding into lack, feeding the dark elements. Now, as I said, there are some people that do prediction, and with that, they do a lot of good. But the majority of us do not need to go into, I believe, into the realms of prediction per se. Can we feel into the energies and know what's coming so we can prepare? I know I have got to do more work. I have scheduled this year extra time to ensure that I am connecting regularly with the divine, connecting regularly with energies of love and above, and grounding so that I can discharge anything that feels sticky and ucky, and especially with the solar flares, that's going to bring in a lot of biomagnetic energy that my body, my cells in my body are going to go. And so I need to discharge that. I need to earth myself. I know that. So the prediction in that sense is brilliant. Just by feeling into those energies, just by having that little bit of knowledge, I'm able to plan how I'm going to navigate. But I'm not going into the realm of details. And it's the realm of details that will pull down your frequencies. Sit with what I've said. If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. It's not for you. Or if there's little aspects within this video, take them, use them, grow from them. This is my experience. These are my beliefs. I share them in the hope that they help people, in the hope that they allow people to sit with themselves and explore it for themselves, not that they follow it. And so I'll leave it at that. If you've liked the video, please place that like button, share, and leave your comments. Let me know what's going on in your life. And I shall see you on the next one. Take care.